The next game I want to tackle in this genre is Brotato. Brotato gives you access to an impressive range of potatoes to fight for your life in a smaller than normal arena, and uniquely, you survive 20 1-minute rounds to beat the game here. It has all the aspects of a great survivor roguelike with great replayability, and you also have access to a wide range of upgrades and options for your run. I love the feel of this game, and I can't wait to play more of it as more is released for its early access period. The real goal of Brotato is the same as the other survivor games, but it's one of the unique times where you discover a game where the goal of defeating the game on different difficulties doesn't change anything super drastically, but it's enticing enough to keep you playing, kind of like Slay the Spire and Ascension levels. That's Brotato. On top of completing achievements to unlock weapons and characters, the only real goal here is to beat the game on higher difficulties on each character. And don't forget, that's with tons of different characters and 7 different levels of difficulty to be beaten on all of them individually. As I mentioned, this all takes place within a smaller arena where your goal is to survive 20 1-minute rounds, after which you'll get a shop to spend money in to make yourself stronger. When it comes to movement and aim, movement is simple in this game. Similar to Vampire Survivors, there is no dash, only WASD movement. But it feels great regardless. The game gives you multiple options for speed upgrades, so you never need a dash, and I think a dash would actually make the game too easy here. Speed is crucial as you will need to dodge bullets and fast moving enemies, and it's a balance you'll have to achieve on your run. A dash would make dodging too easy in my opinion. You can manually aim in this game. I don't, but it is an option. I think this is a game where you're totally okay with either option, and I can see advantages for both. I think the way that movement and aim mechanics are done here work well. They aren't anything special, but they complement the pace of the game nicely and create a more engaging experience, because as I said, the arena is smaller than most games, so movement and, if you so choose, aiming become crucial to survival. When it comes to combat and sound design, well, I really love combat in this game. The animations, effects, sound design all play into a really satisfying experience. The sound design especially sounds really punchy, and I think that's the best way to describe it. It just sounds great, and running around the smaller arena means that movement and decision making are important, mostly when it comes to your pathing. As I mentioned previously, there are projectiles and fast moving enemies, so choosing a clean path through them all is important to survival. The effects for weapons are all good. They don't need to be special, but they're good enough and match with the art style too, which feels like a nice homage to early 2000s Flash games, and personally I'm a big fan of it. Also, when you stack up items and weapons, your potato starts to look absolutely insane. Speaking of stacking up weapons, progression in combat is pulled off exceptionally here, mainly due to the unique weapon choices and effects, but you also get to choose which build to go for, although that's mostly dependent on what potato you choose to start the run with. Because of the wide variety and uniqueness in potatoes, combat will always feel uniquely engaging too. One potato being ranged and one being melee is just the start of the depth here. Progression in a run in this game is some of the best I've experienced. On level up, you get an option for a general stat increase, and if you picked up any items during the run, you get to choose to keep them or recycle them. But the real fun comes in the shop. I've never seen a game be so liberal with how much it lets you buy from the shop. You can buy multiple items in the shop, refresh it, and do it again. You can also combine weapons to upgrade them, and it's a nice goal to go for in the run and means every visit to the shop matters. It's awesome, and I have to credit this system. Outside of the run, achievements will reward you with permanent unlocks in the form of items and characters, but there isn't anything beyond that. No account level, no character level, or anything like that. And usually that would push me away, but it hasn't in this case. The progression and challenge that exists is enough to bring me back. You'll also increase the difficulty level with each character individually, and this is one of the biggest motivators in replayability, especially if you're a completionist. I would love to fault Brotato, but it's really hard to fault a game that doesn't take itself too seriously, but then also provides a quality experience on top of that. I think more permanent progression systems would be nice for Brotato, but it doesn't really need them. What I would like to see is a lot more weapons. Character variety is set for the game's entire lifetime, but I feel like I'm experiencing the same weapons over and over, so more variety there would be nice. Also, potentially a bigger arena would be a fun experience. I really like Brotato, and I can't really fault it, mostly because my issues with it come from stuff that I'd personally like to see in the game, like more meta progression, but that doesn't, again, hurt the game or anything like that, so again, it's hard to fault. I guess, sure, you could have more explosive and vibrant effects from weapons, but you don't need them. So overall, it's a really great addition to the genre.